Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Join me every week. I release new episodes every Tuesday. Hello, and welcome back to the Medium in the Middle podcast. If you're new, welcome. My name is Stephanie. I am the Medium in the Middle, and I am stoked that you guys are here for today's episode. We are talking about PSYCH-K. What is it? What are you talking about, Steph? We're going to get into it. I'm super excited. Welcome to episode 71. If you are an iTunes user, I would love and appreciate a rating and review. It really helps me out in the podcast world, and I so appreciate reading them. So thank you if you've left one. If you haven't already, it takes 45 seconds of your time, and I really appreciate it. So last week, you guys blew me away. I launched 2 Reiki courses for March. The Reiki Level 2 sold out in 1 day. And Reiki Level 1 sold out in 3 days. The fastest I've ever sold out Reiki courses. So I love that you guys are so into wanting to learn Reiki, that people are interested, that these are filling up. It warms my heart so much. And I love teaching Reiki. It's my biggest passion. I am obsessed with it. When you see me teaching it, you will see it's like Christmas morning every time. So amazing that you guys loved those courses. Thank you. And more courses will be coming in April. I try to do about 2 a month. So usually a level 1 and a level 2, but every once in a while I'll do 2 level 1s. So keep an eye out if you're interested, and more dates will be coming. So I'm going to jump right into this week's card pull because I'm excited for today's episode. I pulled 2 cards this week. We are back to the OG, the original, Colette Baron Reed Enchanted Map Deck. I looked at my little, shelf of card decks, and I said, what do we need today? And we need one from Colette Baron Reed, and we need one from Kyle Gray. So I'm going to pull this one first because I pulled it first. Card 21, Field of Dreams. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are always engaging the vast field of pure potential. Oh my God, how perfect is this for today's topic of PSYCH-K? Ooh, okay, full card description. This is the perfect time to harness the field of vast potential not yet realized in your life. Great abundance is yours if you're willing to do the work alongside the gentle gardener. Yup. Be clear about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Concentrate on your best life regardless of the temporary outer conditions imposed upon you by the greater world, which has its own story to tell. You have a basket full of seeds that are quite powerful, for your talents are divinely inspired and will indeed lead to a great harvest to be shared with others. Yep. You will reap what you have sown. Dream big, dream beautiful, take action, and tend to the garden of your life and experience the extraordinary. Okay, how perfect. I love when the cards match the podcast theme or topic. It's like they know. I actually do shuffle. I don't pick these out. So the second one I pulled, I'm interested to see how this message ties in. I never read them in advance. I always just read them with you guys. So I pulled this one from the Kyle Gray, The Angel Guide Oracle book. I got this one as a gift. I talked about it, I think last week. And I really like this deck. The imagery is beautiful. I like the messages. I like this deck so far. So I pulled card Romance and Connection. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. Angels of romance are swirling around your life at this time, ushering in positive, uplifting, and heartfelt experiences to remind you that love is real. Allowing yourself to be romanced, to receive and experience a true connection, is important at this time. It is likely that your heart space is opening up and any barriers or shields that have been in place are falling away. If you find yourself scared or uptight about romance, know that this is not only a sign that you will like to experience it, but also that it is something that your energy system really needs. Your angels are guiding you to begin seeing yourself as loving and deserving of love. Know that you have so much goodness and light to offer others and the world. You're also being encouraged to know that the world wants to see you, to know you, and to understand your heart. All of this is only possible with your permission. Why not give it now? Woohoo! Romance and connection. Very interesting because I think it was 2 episodes now when I was talking with Jocelyn about the heart wall. She cleared my heart wall. And ever since then, I honestly feel like a new person. And I know that this might sound crazy, but it's like I'm feeling feelings. I'm more sensitive. I apologized to someone. My friends were like, Steph, who are you? Did you just apologize? Not that I never apologize, but I was just like, I think that was a little mean. I'm just going to let them know. I was like, what? So that card is also very fitting. Let me know if these cards resonate with you. Card 21, Field of Dreams and Romance and Connection. If you want to check them out, I always post them on Instagram on Tuesday at Medium in the Middle, or on Facebook. You'll see them as well in my stories. If you would like to book an appointment with me, distance Reiki, Akashic Record readings, or PSYCH-K, that's all available on my website, themediuminthemiddle.com. All the links of everything you need will be linked down below in the show notes. So in today's episode, we're talking all things PSYCH-K. If you are new, a few weeks ago I went to Calgary and I took a course and it was all about PSYCH-K, but I just want to retell the backstory really quickly of how this all lined up to be. Thank you, universe. If you want to listen to episode 68, that was the episode where I talked to Jocelyn. Jocelyn is also a PSYCH-K facilitator. She's an emotion code and body code facilitator. She's amazing. She is the person that cleared my heart wall for me, having me feel in all types of ways. So if you're interested, check her out. I highly recommend her. I've sent lots of my friends to her. They have all loved her as well. Just really interesting, a different energy form, a different energy modality. And it's really fun to see what your body can tell you. So Jocelyn and I met at the Banff Wellness Retreat last year at the end of 2020, and we just vibed, we clicked. I liked her energy, she liked mine. We started chatting on Instagram. We decided to do an energy exchange, and in that energy exchange, she was telling me about PSYCH-K, and I was just like so interested in it. And I really wanted to know more. And I didn't know why, I was just being called to it. So when we did the exchange, I was like, wow, like everybody needs this. Everybody needs this. And she was like, yeah, it's amazing. She's like, but it's a new modality. So it's kind of like new on the scene. And I was like, oh, okay, like very interesting. So a few weeks later, she sent me a link and she said, hey, Steph, like I need to share this with you. I know that it's like part of what I'm meant to do as well is share this with you, but there's a course that's near you. Like here's the link with the instructor that I also had. I think that you should register. Like you're really good at muscle testing already. You already have Reiki. And she's like, I really think that you're being called to this for a reason and you're interested in it. Like here's the link if you want. I loved it. And she kind of told me her story. And I was like, oh, interesting. So I clicked the link and I was looking it up and I instantly got a yes. Like I didn't even click the link yet. My intuition was like, yes. And I was like, okay, like calm down. And then I looked up the information and it was just like, yes, yes, yes. And the website wasn't that clear for signing up. So you had to like email and then message someone and then confirm and then like send money. And it was just not like a normal course setup, I would say. And I was just like, oh, like normally that would have deterred me and I would have been like, no, but I was like, no, I'm going to email her and I'm going to follow up and I'm going to figure it out. And throughout the process, it was just like my intuition was screaming yes at me. Like, yes, you have to do this. Yes, you have to sign up and register. So I was like, okay. I went on a social distance walk with my friend and I was like telling her the story and like asking her what she thinks. And I was like, I think it's a yes. Like every time I look it up, it's a yes. I got a feeling it's a yes. Like, I just think I need to do this and like invest the money and the time. And like, I actually like have that weekend off. Like right when I saw the course date, I actually blocked off the weekend right away because I didn't have any appointments booked yet. And I was like, that's a sign. And I had Reiki courses on either end. So I was like, that's also a sign, like of all the weekends, it's just the one weekend that I have off and I actually don't have any appointments booked. So I just blocked it off while I made my decision. And as I was telling her all of this, she's like, Steph, why are you even asking me? It sounds like you know your answer. And I was like, yeah, I do know. But sometimes you just need to talk it out and you need to hear yourself and you need to like say it to yourself almost. Like, yes, I was sharing it with her, but I was like, yeah, I'm more just like saying this to myself. Like, yes, this is a good idea. Yes, it's worth the money. I can go to Calgary. Like, it's an hour and a half away from me. So I did it. I booked it. I booked it a week before or a week and a half before. I sorted out everything and decided to go to Calgary for a few days and learn this course. So this is all based on me having like a session with Jocelyn. And in the session, we did probably only 15 minutes of PSYCH-K because we did a little bit of everything in an hour and it was really fun. So it's funny, again, how I found PSYCH-K was very similar to Reiki. I didn't know much about it. I had tried it once. I was just being called to it. It all worked out. There was a course close to me. All of the things were the same. And I just remember smiling to myself thinking like, the universe will put in your way like exactly what is intended for you. And in my case, this is exactly another thing. So very interesting that happened. And the fact that I got like screaming yeses the whole way through really made me feel good about the decision, the choice, the investment, the time. So the course was very interesting. Day one was a slow start for sure. And I was like, oh no, like, is this not what I think it is? How's this going? And it's very, I don't want to say old school, but old school, like photocopied pieces of paper, writing on a board. And it was super interesting. There was only a few people in class, like with COVID rules. There was 4 of us. It was a slow start for sure. And then at lunchtime on day one, I was like, did I make a huge mistake? But then after lunch, we kind of got into it. And then it was really good. And then day 2 was super cool. And then day 3 was really good. And I was like, okay, like this is exactly what I came here for. People are going to love this. Like, yes, like this is what I wanted to be learning this weekend with a bow on top. This is perfect. Guys, when we apply this to manifesting, I am just like, whoo. So I'm still getting used to the fact that I can PSYCH-K balance myself and all of these things that I could be doing on like a daily basis. I know I'm already the worst with like Reikiing myself and I don't go into my own Akashic records, but PSYCH-K is a little bit faster where you can reprogram. I did do a few last week and I literally saw an immediate difference. So it's very, very interesting. I've been getting really great feedback from the sessions that have happened this past week. It's been really fun. Okay, let's jump right into what is PSYCH-K before I get talking about how great it is. I want to get crystal clear on what it is because I didn't know what it was. And I like sharing the things that I learn with my listeners. So PSYCH-K is a user-friendly way to rewrite the software of your mind and change the printout of your life. That's kind of the hashtag for it. It is a simple and direct way to change self-limiting beliefs at the subconscious level of the mind, where nearly all human behavior originates. So PSYCH-K is all about you creating your own reality, and your own reality is created by your beliefs. These beliefs are usually subconscious and often the result of your programming. So from your life, from human behavior, anything that you just have programmed into your mind. It is the subconscious mind that is the storehouse for our attitudes, values, and beliefs. It is from our beliefs that we form perceptions about the world and ourselves, and from these perceptions, we develop behaviors. So, one of the ways to change behavior is to change the subconscious belief that supports it. So, PSYCH-K is based on years of split brain research, so we talk a lot about the left side and the right side of the brain, also known as brain dominance theory. So PSYCH-K provides a variety of ways to quickly identify and transform beliefs that limit you into beliefs that support you in any area of your life. So a few of the topics that you can focus on in PSYCH-K, where people harbor the most self-limiting beliefs, are areas of spirituality, self-esteem, health and body issues, financial abundance, relationships, or career. And if you want to know more information on any of this, you can go to www.psychk.com and all of this information is also there. So how does PSYCH-K work? Your beliefs are the foundation of your personality. They have far-reaching consequences, both positive and negative, in your life. Your beliefs affect your mood, your relationships, your job performance, your self-esteem, anything. So, with all of this at stake, it's important that we know how to change beliefs that are limiting us into beliefs that are supporting us. This is where PSYCH-K comes in. To better understand how to identify and change the beliefs, it's necessary to know a little bit about how the brain works. So, I'm going to get a little technical here with you because this is where the fun part is. And we're going to keep it simple, but you have two sides of your brain, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. The left side uses logic and reason, thinks in words, deals with parts and specifics, will analyze, identifies with the individual, is ordered and controlled, whereas your right brain and your right hemisphere uses emotion, intuition, creativity, thinks in pictures, deals with the wholes, will put things together, identifies with the group, and is more spontaneous and free. So when we're doing PSYCH-K, we actually look into which side of the brain is holding a certain belief and how we can reprogram it, because it's based on which side of the brain we are reprogramming. So sometimes our life is running on autopilot and our past experiences are stored in our subconscious mind. So these subconscious beliefs therefore create these filters with which we respond to everyday life. So 95% of our consciousness is subconscious. If you think of an iceberg, just the top of the iceberg is our conscious mind. So while we may mostly be aware of the influences on us, our subconscious beliefs direct our observable actions and behaviors. So I talked about this on Instagram, but in the course they use the imagery of an elephant and someone on top of the elephant directing the elephant. And they said, the person on top driving the elephant is your conscious mind and the elephant is your subconscious mind. So if you can picture that in your head, imagine that your conscious mind can easily turn the elephant, even though the elephant is so big. So it's like a small portion of you is controlling such a large portion of your brain. And that was really interesting to me. I'm like, that makes so much sense. And the way that they train elephants is that eventually have them tied up on just a small string that they could actually easily walk away from. But because they've been trained, with heavier chains, as they make the string smaller and smaller and smaller, the elephant just assumes that it's a chain that they can't escape from, so they'll stay there, even though the string could be attached to a stick that they could literally just walk away from. This is exactly how our subconscious mind works. We are just so used to things from patterns that we stay exactly where we are. So let's talk about limiting beliefs, because this is where PSYCH-K really comes into play. So some of these limiting beliefs, here are a few examples. The decisions I make usually turn out wrong. No matter what I do or how hard I try, it's never good enough. I blame others, my boss, coworkers, for my problems. I shouldn't try anything new or risky because I'll probably screw it up. My opinion doesn't really matter. I really like this quote that they offered in the course from Henry Ford. If you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. And I just love that. If you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. Either way, you're right, because it all comes down to our beliefs. So why is PSYCH-K so important? Why does this matter? Well, I'm going to read another little poem or quote by Gandhi. So keep your beliefs positive, because your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. Okay, so now you're like, okay, Steph, I get PSYCH-K deals with the brain. We're working with the right and left side, the conscious and subconscious mind. And this is getting, kind of technical for me. But what does this all mean? What do you do? Well, this is where the fun part comes in. So the cool part about PSYCH-K is that we don't need to know why those beliefs are there. So in other modalities, for example, therapy, you would go in and be like, why do you have this belief? When did it occur? From your childhood, what happened? Let's go through that event. With PSYCH-K, you don't need that. You just need to know that the belief is there. So it can be anything. It can be, I am not good enough. So you feeling like you are not good enough is going to show up in your life in many different ways. So you're like, okay, well, how do I know if I have this belief or not? Well, what we do is we muscle test you. So when I do this online, I teach you how to muscle test really quickly. It doesn't take long at all. If my client doesn't pick up muscle testing very quickly, then I'll just do it for them. But it's funner when you get to muscle test for yourself, because it's like half the fun is you actually get to see the results happening. So I teach you how to muscle test really quickly, and then we will test the statement. So we will ask your body, do I feel worthy? Am I enough? Or whatever the statement may be. And your body will sway yes or no, or show us yes or no in different ways through muscle testing. And that's how we know if we need to do a balance on it. So say we don't believe in this statement, and now we're going to do a PSYCH-K balance on it. The PSYCH-K balances just take a few minutes, and we balance out the right and the left side of the brain, depending on where it is, and then we retest the statement to ensure that it's strong and positive before we complete it. So what a session looks like is you can either come with your own statements that you want to work on. I had someone come last week. She's a developing medium, and she was like, Steph, my practice readings aren't going well, and I just don't feel confident, and I just want to work on this because something is blocking me. And I was like, okay, so let's work on some statements for that. Do you believe that spirit messages can flow through you? Do you believe that those messages are correct? Do you believe that you're a powerful medium who can receive messages from spirit? So we wrote out all of these statements in order to test it. And then we tested her body to see what she was responding to, and were able to reprogram the ones that were testing negative or weak. Then she messages me a few days later that she had a practice session the next day, and it went so much better than the last one, and she was feeling so good. So sometimes you can see the results come into play immediately. So in this case, she had a practice reading lined up for the next day, so she was able to immediately see the results. But it's interesting that if you have a certain subject, like we normally know what's wrong, not what's wrong. We normally know the area of focus that we want to work on. So if you're booking a PSYCH-K session, you can come with no idea, and we'll go through those different categories: health, your body, prosperity, personal power, relationships, spirituality. There are statements that have been made for these specific areas that we can go through and test. But what makes this fun is that you can also come prepared with statements that you want to work on. And in PSYCH-K, we have you say the statements before and after when you're testing. And when I was doing it in the course, it was almost like the first time when you're going to test negative. It's like you can't even say the statement. But then once you do the balance and we're retesting again, you say the statement in a new way. It's like, yes, I am confident that I deliver messages from spirit. It's the way that you say it because your subconscious now believes it. So you can either come prepared with your own statements, or we can make them together, which is really fun. You can tell me kind of what you're going through, and I'll help you make the statements, because they need to be positively stated. They need to just be like you're creating a goal. And throughout the session, we will connect and learn how to muscle test. Then we'll kind of talk about what statements you want to work on. And then for the rest of the hour, we pretty much go back and forth testing to find the weak statements, reprogramming the weak statements, going back to make sure that they're strong, and then keep moving through. So I've found that you can get between 4 and 6 statements reprogrammed in an hour, sometimes more, depending on how quickly the brain will move. It takes about 3 to 7 minutes to balance for each statement, but you do sit in these different positions depending on how long your body wants to and when it's ready to accept the change. So I find it super cool because it's all about the brain, and we literally explain manifesting with the brain. We talked about this with Jocelyn in episode 68. I've also been talking about how I'm reading The Source right now, which is another book about the brain and manifestation, because I'm just very interested about how we actually think about these things, these limiting beliefs, and how they affect our lives, because it's so interesting and cool once you start to have the science behind it. When it comes to the brain and things that we know about right side, left side, we know about the hemispheres, we know about limiting beliefs, we know about the conscious and subconscious mind. So very, very interesting when you put energy work in this together, when you're working with the brain. So the book that I was talking about is called The Source, The Secrets to the Universe, The Science of the Brain. It's by Tara Swart. She's a doctor. She is a neuroscientist who then wanted to use her kind of understanding of medicine and the brain to figure out how manifesting works, how your thoughts work, how you can control your mind and your brain, and all of these things. And PSYCH-K is just a tool to use that. So it's just so interesting to me. I'm currently obsessed with it. And I'm super happy that the course worked out so quickly and everything aligned. And now I'm very happy to be offering this in person and online. You can do a PSYCH-K session. It's also super interesting because there's only 2 teachers in all of Canada that teach PSYCH-K. So just like the fact that one was in Calgary and a weekend that I had off, like how this is all lined up has been amazing. On the course, we did so many balances. We did so much work. I was pooped. We were reprogramming so many things. But now it's a lot easier for me to recognize like where I need to reprogram, like where I have a limiting belief. Because sometimes it's hard to find the limiting belief. But once you find it, it's like, aha, like that's what I believe. So very interesting. Sometimes when you're doing balances, it's more about things that are going to happen in the future for you. It could be that you have a family, that you have money abundance, that you have all these things that you wouldn't automatically see right away. If I ever am worried about clients or money or abundance or something happening, I always just check in and see. It's also a really cool way to connect with your own intuition, your own sense of self, because we're working with your conscious, subconscious, and muscle testing is also very, very cool. So there's multiple different ways to muscle test. I have like a list of them that we go through and see what your body picks up on the quickest. In person, I will test for you, but yeah, like I said, when we do it on Zoom, it's a lot funner if you get to do it and see it, because you can say something to yourself that even you think you believe. You could be like, I believe that I can have abundance in every area of my life. And you might muscle test no. And it's like, whoa. And it's like, okay, where's the disconnect? And it's not that you don't consciously believe it, it's that you subconsciously don't. So there's a disconnect between the two. So your body believes that, so you're going to act that way. So when you can reprogram it, it's just like taking the blinders off, opening up the blind, like whatever you want to say, where you're bringing these 2 things into unison, your subconscious and your conscious mind. You want them to be working like partners. So that is what I learned at my PSYCH-K, the crash course in 30 minutes. I hope that's helpful for you. If it's a new modality that you've never heard of, I'm always interested in learning new things. I'm always interested in how we can continue to go deeper into our intuition, how we can continue to get to know ourselves, how we can continue to work with a brain. So cool. I love energy work and I'm really, really excited. So it's funny now when people are talking and they're saying certain things, I'm like, hey, we should PSYCH-K that. Hey, we can reprogram that statement. Like, you just said this. Did you realize you just said that? A limiting belief? So it's interesting to see these different things come to light and how you can use them in every day. Like I said, if you want to book a session, they're available in person and online. You can pre-make your own statements. I would pre-make about 6 to 8, or we can do it together, or we can use the statements that I already have and you just have to pick a category. But you can do this with goals. You can do this with things you're working towards. You can do this with manifestation. You can do this with any area of your life where you feel like there's a disconnect between your subconscious and your conscious mind. And the cool part about this as well is after the session, you know now how to muscle test, so you can check in with yourself. It's like using yourself as a pendulum. Very cool that you get to keep that little thing with you. So I hope you found that interesting. I found it super interesting. I love learning new things, and especially when it comes to manifesting the brain and being in line with our thoughts and our conscious and subconscious mind. So I hope you found that valuable. Thank you all for listening to this week's episode. Again, all the links are in the show notes that you would need. Follow along on Instagram and Facebook at Medium in the Middle. If you have not already, please subscribe to the podcast. I release new episodes every Tuesday and I will pop right up in your library. But thank you for listening. That is all for this week. Have a great week, everyone, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.